And what is going on, baseball fans? Hello. 50 people to start things off. How are we doing, everyone? A lot of familiar faces here in the chat. What's going on? Ethan, Ben, San Francisco Giants recap. A chair has arrived. What's going on? How are we doing? Tony Clark himself is in the chat. Tony Clark, it's time to retire. Ryan McDonald, how you doing? What are we doing, my friend? Jason, Matt, Ryan McDonald, one of our moderators. Hello. How are we doing? Ben Ferraro, what's going on? Ethan, hello. Zachary, what's going on? Conman752. I'm sure Conman752 is quite excited about his Orioles. Josh, I'm sorry. Ratchet, what's going on? How are we doing? Who else we got in here? If I missed anyone, hello. Oh, Dylan Edward was first, so I'll give him a shout out as well. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Hope everyone hunted for some eggs this weekend and ate their faces off with their families and whatever. Josh, I think I passed out on your mother's couch for about, 20 minutes or so after just gorging ourselves. How are you feeling after Easter?
Stuffed. I'm definitely feeling stuffed. A lot of food, a lot of eggs, a lot of finding eggs, a lot of dessert, a lot of drinks, a lot of fun.
Eggs.
Good times.
Oh, I'm a little delayed here.
Oh, we don't want that.
1 sec. I'm a little delayed. Okay, that's better. Yeah, it was a good weekend. Good weekend of baseball too. So everyone, welcome. This is the week ahead. We're going to talk all things baseball from this past weekend, but also preview the upcoming week. But before I do get started, if you are new, hit that subscribe button, the like button, the share button, hit all the buttons. Also, we have some partnerships as well. Got to pay the bills. We have a partnership with Prize Picks. If you go to I actually made a couple of bets this past weekend as well, and I actually won myself a few bucks. So head on over to Prize Picks, use my code Ginger. You will get a 100% deposit match. Also, if you're going to a game at all this year, please use my code HIDE. You'll get $20 off your first purchase. And actually, Josh, we're going to a game this weekend. We're going to good old Tropicana Field, the most pleasant ballpark in the world. Honestly, I mean, I know everyone rags on Tropicana Field, but me and you have talked about this. We like Tropicana Field. I don't know. AC, inside. I mean, what else there to what's the hate?
There is no weather delays. I know I've been to a couple games. It was pouring outside. Game got off, no problem. You're right. Air conditioning. Enjoy the atmosphere. You get to sit close. It's a great time. It's a great time. Anytime you're able to catch the game, it's a great time. So I'm excited, even though we're seeing the Red Sox play. Being a Yankees fan,
it's your turn now. I went to the Yankees last time and watched Chris Young just pummel a grand slam off of Grant Balfour. That was just great. Yeah, we'll see. Actually, who's pitching this weekend? Do they have the? Let me go to the Red Sox really quick.
Grant Balfour, one of the good Rays closers, always would throw on the. They would pitch a lot of Foster's beer. Foster's Australian for beer since he is Australian.
Oh man! Oh, guess who we get to see with the Red Sox this Saturday? Good old Rich Hill. He got pummeled today. Oh, I can't wait. Oh man, I knew we should have went Friday. We should have seen Waka Waka Waka. Oh, great.
Big mistake.
Well, my record at Tropicana Field in the regular season playoff games, I'm 1-0. The one playoff game I've been to is we're undefeated. But for regular season, awful luck. Did you have good luck going to whenever you go to see your Yankees? How do those games always go? I went to one where the Yankees won, but
most of the times, no. Most of the time I go to see the Yankees and they get killed in the Trop. I've got a pretty good record going to see them at Yankee Stadium. I think they lost one game out of the 5 I've seen at Yankee Stadium, but they can't get it done. They cannot get it done. I went to go see the one game that always sticks out to me is the year the Yankees won the World Series, 2009. I went to Tropicana Field with my dad, and we saw B.J. Upton hit for the cycle. CC Sabathia looked terrible. He started that game, looked absolutely terrible. Upton hit for the cycle. Yankees lost by a huge margin, and saw a little bit of history. But yeah, terrible as a Yankee fan watching the game.
I'll always remember that Chris Young home run. Grant Balfour, he had nowhere to go, bases loaded, full count. I'm like, he's throwing 90-mile-an-hour fastballs. What's this guy gonna do? He's just gonna pour it in
The middle.
right
down
boom. Just oh, God. I was saying, I'm like, he's gonna hit a bomb right here. It's like, unless he walks him.
That was when Chris Young was going on a tear that year too. During that time, remember Chris Young was going on a tear there.
He was good for the Red Sox too, and then he went. Did he go to the Yankees? Was he on the Yankees first? Or I think he was on the Red Sox first, and then he went to the Yankees.
Right? I think it might have been the other way around.
Was it the other way around? I can't remember. That was like, how long ago was that now? 2014, 2015?
Had to be. Probably,
somewhere around there. But really quick, before we do move on, we had a couple of super chats. I'm going to try and play those as we go. But CJ LaChapelle, $5 super chat. What's going on, my friend? To avoid injury, should MLB do double bases at first, like in softball? Do you like the Braves tomahawk shot? We got two questions here. So, the double. Anytime I think of the double bases, I think of when we used to go play softball with the old guys. They did that, right?
Yeah. That was.
I mean, it makes sense. But then again, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I'm indifferent about it. What do you think?
I don't think there's enough injuries that are happening at first to warrant
if you start
first base. I don't know. I mean, I think of some plays like we saw over this weekend, Orioles, Yankees. You got Rizzo over there stretching out at first base, going backwards, catching balls. If he's catching over two bases and possibly tripping over a second base, I think you're going to have more injuries happening having a second first base there than.
Yeah, I wonder if it could actually maybe bring up more problems. I could see that. And then, I mean, for me personally, I'll just answer this right off the bat. The chop, no, I have no problem at all. To me, it's, I don't know, doesn't bother me. So whatever, if that makes me a terrible person, then so be it. Eat my shorts. But yeah, what do you think about that?
I love the chop. We got another question from CJ. Max Fried almost got hurt. He's a pitcher. Pitchers are running to first base. Pitchers, a lot of injury problems. If he was running from a hit, that's even worse. So, but I love the chop. Keep it going.
Oh man, like, I mean, come on. Like, everyone in the stadium is just doing it. It's just like, I mean, come on. No, Jeff Passan, just, I don't know, whatever. Calm down, my friend. All right. So we had one more. Frank Ryan. What's going on? CJ, thank you for the super chat. Yeah. Can I get your thoughts on Cutter Crawford? I don't want to get into this. I might lose my mind. But when I went to Fenway Park last year, Cutter Crawford got the emergency start because I think it was Nick Pivetta that went on the COVID list all of a sudden. And then here comes Cutter Crawford. And I'm like, okay, all right, cool. Haven't really heard too much of this guy, but his numbers in the minors look okay, I guess. All right. And then boom, 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 hit. I'm like, oh, this game's going to be over by the third inning. This is great. Every time this guy comes in, he's had like what, one good inning, maybe two. It's, I don't know. To me, it's Heimblum. He likes to really stick with some guys. He likes to see if these guys can turn it around. I don't know. To me, I don't know. I think at this point you can't put him in unless you're in, long relief. And I don't know. I guess it depends. And maybe Cora wants to throw him in there. Excuse me. Maybe Cora wants to throw him in there. Say, hey, we're still confident in you. Hey, here's the ball. But it's like, I don't know. What do you even do in this situation? I wouldn't go anywhere near the guy. The guy, he gives me, Ryan Brazier and Craig Kimbrell killed me in 2018. Every time, it was funny enough because Ryan Brazier actually had some good numbers in 2018. But every time that guy came to the mound, it was like, oh, like I wanted to just die. And then Craig Kimbrell, too, in 2018. I wanted to just jump off a cliff every time that guy came out of the mound, especially in the playoffs. But that's how Crawford is now with me. I'm over it. It's, I don't know. To me, he's got good stuff. He has pretty decent velocity. It's just a matter of, I don't know. To me, it's, you got to be just mop up long relief kind of role right now. To me, it's, I don't know. But If you had a guy that on the Yankees? I'm trying to think. Who's a guy on the Yankees that's like that, where they just keep turning to him? What is there?
They were doing that last year a lot with like Nick Nelson. They were doing that a lot. They always have guys like that. Cutter Crawford right now, I think, needs to only be used if it's a huge lead and you're giving him an inning like, hey, a nice clean inning, you got a huge lead, or he's being used in a blowout.
Yeah.
Like right now, like let him get some trust innings, let him get some trust, time out there. He's a local guy from Florida. He's from Okeechobee. He went to Florida Gulf Coast, so there's a couple of Red Sox that went to Florida Gulf Coast.
Yeah.
So, give him some, confidence innings there and let him build it back up. But right now, it's tough. He's going through a tough time.
But Frank Ryan, CJ, thank you for the super chats. But all right, let's move on. Let's just kind of go over this past weekend really quick. We'll just touch on our Yankees and our Red Sox really quick. How are you feeling with the Yankees? 2 out of 3 Yankees and Laker fans all over are just miserable right now. How are you feeling?
I don't think we have enough time here to talk about how I'm feeling after this weekend, but it was a rough weekend. I mean, there's so many things going on. It's so early in the season. We're 10 games in, but it was embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing losing to the Orioles. I know we got some Orioles fans here in the chat. The Orioles are a tough team. I don't think they're going to be
always pesky.
I don't think they're a pesky team. So I'll give them the credit there, but the Yankees should not be coming close to losing to the Orioles, especially not 2 out of 3. They're sitting their guys in the 8th, 9th, and 10th game of the season, sitting Judge, sitting Rizzo, sitting Stanton, sitting these guys that have no business sitting right now. They need to start everybody. It's the 10th game of the season.
Yeah.
They should have all hands on deck.
Yeah.
Always, not sitting guys.
Yeah.
But great game. I mean, the pitching's been good. Nestor Cortez had a hell of a start. 5 innings, 12 strikeouts.
He looked good. Immaculate inning.
Yeah, immaculate inning. You can't blame the pitching. It's the hitting. The hitting's not there. They're feeling a lot of pressure, it looks like. It's early in the season. Joey Gallo stinks. Yes, he does, Frank Ryan. 100%. I agree with that. He's going to be – I mean, if he doesn't turn it around, sorry, he's going to be another one. They traded for him. He's going to be let go at the end of the season. I don't think you could trade him for anybody right now. The way he's playing, who is picking him up? Who is giving you something for him? He's not doing anything right now. Aaron Boone will say, oh, he's making a lot of contact, a lot of great at-bats. Great. So, I mean, I think me and you maybe could put up some good at-bats there too. If we're not getting hits, you're not getting hits.
Bob Conway from softball.
Yeah. I mean, so you can't use that as something, he's been unlucky. Yeah, all that. But at the end of the day, you need to produce. If you're hitting a, 108, that's not doing anything.
I mean, right now, really quick, just to kind of look at the Yankees really quick. Let me share the screen here. How do we do this again? Here we go. So taking a look at the Yankees currently, when it comes to the offense, they're 16th overall. I mean, middle of the pack. They're getting some hits here and there, but they're just not showing up at other times too. You got these other teams. Cleveland was pretty hot early, so they're still atop here. You got these other teams like the Mets, the Cubs, the Angels. You got some teams really driving in some runs. As of right now, the run leader, funny enough, is Oakland. Oakland has scored the most runs this year, which is pretty hilarious. I mean, I think they had a couple of blowout wins, but hey, whatever. I don't look at, I've seen that argument before, like, oh, well, those numbers are bloated because of, blowout games or whatever. It's like, well, whatever. It's like 53 runs. They drove in the runs, so pretty funny to see Oakland atop here, but when you're looking at the Yankees, 25th in runs scored as of right now. The offense is doing a bit, but they're just not really coming through, like you were saying. But with the Yankees, pitching is looking great. That's one thing that you can be pretty happy about. 4th right now in starting pitching, so that's very nice. And taking a look also at the bullpens right now, the Yankees are 3rd overall. The pitching is great. They're really pitching. They're pitching. I mean, Chapman's had a couple of hairy little outings there, but man, gotta love King the other night. What was that? Was that Thursday night? He came out of the bullpen. He was just nails out of the bullpen. I was seeing so many memes. That was hilarious.
He has been another bright spot. And again, the pitching's been amazing. It's not them. You can't expect them to go out there and throw shutouts nonstop. The offense has to get going. Too many guys left on base. Too many guys not getting hits with runners in scoring position. Too many stupid outs on the base pass. We saw another dumb play from Aaron Hicks. First game of the series, gets thrown out at third base. Same thing as last year, starting off that way. They got to shake whatever's going on with them and get it going against Detroit tomorrow.
Yeah. And Detroit, they've been all right so far. They're actually 13th when it comes to their bullpen this year. Taking a look at Detroit, their starting pitching has actually been pretty solid. Not a lot of strikeouts coming from them, but overall, when you look at all the numbers overall, they're not giving up a lot of home runs. They're not walking a lot of guys. Not striking out a lot of guys either. But as of right now, they rank 6th in starting pitching. So they're getting some good outings from their starters. So Detroit, they're definitely going to be a tough team this year. But yeah, I think overall with the Yankees, I mean, they're always going to be there. They're going to be there in the end. They're going to be fine. I think, the fact that the pitching is looking good, the hitting is going to come around. It's going to come around as the season heats up. Weather gets a little warmer. These guys they're going to start. I mean, come on. You got all these great bats in that lineup. They're looking good. They're going to look good. I think they're going to be fine. Starting pitching, they're doing good. Nestor Cortez, man, he's doing great. Yeah, and I think Garrett Cole is going to eventually go on some kind of a run. So he seems like a guy that's kind of carrying himself right now with confidence. He's still out there. He's making comments. He's not sitting here like, oh yeah, I had a bad outing. You're not hearing any of that like from him. So, but yeah, I think the Yankees overall are going to be fine. As for my Red Sox, really quick, up and down weekend. Split the Twins, just really up and down. Good offense one day, bad pitching, good pitching, bad offense. A couple of wins there, but today getting pummeled. The Red Sox, you got to like what Waka did. You got to like what Tanner Houck did this past weekend. But, Devers driving in some runs there. But overall, I mean, it's just kind of up and down. This Red Sox team, coming into this year, I just had this weird feeling about this Red Sox team. Like, I think they're good. I just wonder how good they're going to be. And I feel like the starting pitching is lacking. It's early, of course. And that's why I also, by the way, in case any of you were looking for the power rankings last night, I did not get home last night until like 10 o'clock. Oh my God. I was driving through a monsoon last night. I probably died at one point. It's fine. I'm fine. But yeah, so no power rankings this past weekend, but they will be debuting this Sunday night. So look out for those. But yeah, for the Red Sox, up and down. But I think, Red Sox, Yankees, they're going to end up being fine. But what do you think about Joe Madden this past weekend intentionally walking Corey Seager with the bases loaded? I believe the last time that's happened, correct me if I'm wrong, was it Barry Bonds the last time? I believe.
I can't think of anybody else other than Barry Bonds that used to get that treatment. Very shocking move early in the season against Seager. I mean, Seager's a great bat on ball guy, contact guy, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
But anytime you see that, it's just that's a tough move, walking somebody with the bases loaded, because there's not many guys you're going to do that with, even in the league at this point.
Yeah, Fangraphs, they did an article on this. They actually did a full-blown article on this, and they did some analysis on it. Let me actually go to it right here. Sharing the screen. There we go. Okay, so taking a look here, they actually made an article. Ben Clemens today, don't intentionally walk anyone with the bases loaded. So, and if my memory, Mike Trout looked quite confused with what was going on. Wait, what? He's walking him? But that's just Joe Madden. Joe Madden's always been up to those quirky little things. But I believe the Angels ended up winning this game, if my memory serves me correctly. It was on, what was that, Friday night, I believe?
Yeah.
Friday night? Yeah, I think the Angels ended up winning that game, right? It was a late game.
I think so.
What was the final score of that one? Let me actually go look here. Oh, MLB.com, you're killing me. Hold on. I think the final score was like 9-6
The
or
chat
something.
is chat's letting us know that Josh Hamilton did get a walk with the bases loaded. So
That's right. Okay, that one makes
2000,
sense.
yeah, 2008, Josh Hamilton. I
Yeah.
think I
Oh,
walked
yeah.
him too.
Yeah. Absolutely. Oh my God, that guy was going crazy.
Yeah,
But yeah,
96.
the Angels ended up winning that game. So hey, who knows? Corey Seager just gets into one, hits a grand slam. I think in that game, that was, I believe, what inning was that? That was the bottom of the fourth. So what did the Rangers? So the Rangers did score 5 runs that inning. Who knows? Maybe I don't know. A couple of hits a double, drives in a few, and a couple more guys get some hits. Maybe they end up scoring more in that inning. That's a high-powered offense. It's a good offense. When these guys they get on a roll, man. Like, I'm sorry, I line up with Seager and Semien and Nate Lowe and all these other guys. Like, I don't blame Madden, honestly. I mean,
Yeah.
at least trying, think a little outside the box. But hey, whatever. The Angels ended up winning it. So I guess it worked out in the end. But definitely seeing mixed reviews on it. Mixed reviews all around. Feels like people, they're really like, what the heck? You don't walk guys with the bases loaded. This is, Corey Seager's not Barry Bonds. He's not Josh Hamilton. But, well, whatever. He's trying to win games. Honestly, I don't care how the Angels win. If they do weird stuff like that, I don't care. The Angels, they always have good team, and they just always let you down in the end. Do whatever the heck you want to do if you're the Angels. Try and win some games, So, but moving on here, let's stop sharing that. So
we were talking about that last week, just real quick on the Angels. This time last week, Angels off to a kind of a rough start. They've been on a good streak since. They've had some guys that have gotten some hits. They've had some guys that have been able to pitch and hit and put up some good games. So
yeah.
Angels may flop this year. Ethan in the chat says that.
Mm-hmm.
AL West is kind of up for grabs. It's another division.
It is.
Rangers, Mariners, Astros, Angels. There's 4 teams there that are in it. As we see, early on with the AL East, everybody's kind of tied up at the top.
Yeah.
So,
and speaking of the AL East, Conman752, thank you so much. $10 super chat. Travis Larkins can be thanked for 4 of the 6 runs allowed in the series. O's total pitching is top 10 right now. Who would have thought? Bruce Zimmerman looks like good John Means replacement for now. Yeah. Funny enough, the Orioles, I kind of really quick put together like my own little, I didn't full blown like go into my power rankings for this week. I'm going to save that for Sunday, but I kind of did like a quick little ranking today while I was at lunch. And, the Orioles, they're not doing, they're not one of the better teams in the league, but they're not like the bottom of the barrel kind of a team. Like right now, like the Diamondbacks, the Reds, when you look at their numbers overall, they're not looking, too hot. But the Orioles there are some things about the Orioles really quick. Let me actually just share the screen here. Here we go. Yeah, when we look at the Orioles, I think their bullpen actually is doing pretty good. Baltimore right now has the best bullpen in the game right now. They have the highest Fangraph WAR, 2.66 ERA, a 2.51 FIP, 3.08 xFIP. BABIP, it's fine. It's not anything drastic, either too high or too low. Hey, look at the home runs allowed, 0.20 home runs allowed for the Orioles. So they're pitching really well out of that bullpen. When you're looking at the starting pitching with the Orioles, where are they at? 14th overall. Yeah. Decent numbers here, 3.50 ERA, 3.79 FIP. A few walks over 4, but they're not giving up any home runs. So it looks like them pushing back the walls are actually helping them out. But I think with the offense, though, the offense just hasn't really been doing too much. 24th overall. So not anything great. But yeah, the Orioles, they are pitching a little bit because I was thinking, the Orioles, man, they're probably, I don't know, bottom 5. And I started looking at these numbers. I'm like, no, they're not a bottom 5 team. They're probably right around the 20 range, I would say. I think that sounds pretty fair. But But comment 752, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. We actually just got another one in. Oh no, we got a new member. Houdini has become a new member. Houdini, thank you so much. Go find the link in the community tab for the Discord. Houdini, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm not on Streamlabs tonight, so it's not going to play the little graphic of Alex Verdugo in the home run card. So sorry for that. But yeah, so let's kind of really quick before we do get into this coming week, let's take a look at the power rankings. Power rankings are always not my power rankings, Major League Baseball's power rankings. That's always a pretty hot topic. And these were MLB.com's first power rankings for the year. So once again, sharing the screen. Here we go. So taking a look here, Dodgers at number 1. I agree with that. I agree. We'll just go through the top 10 really quick. I'm not going to really dive into it, but what do you think of the Dodgers at number 1?
I agree with that. Dodgers are going to be number 1. Great. They didn't do anything to knock themselves out of that number 1 spot. They were number 1 last week.
Yeah.
Number 1 this week. Yeah.
Yeah, they're doing really good. 6-game winning streak, outscoring their opponents 40-9 during that streak. 0.56 ERA. I believe they have if we were to look at the MLB, they're tied with the Giants for the best win percentage right now. It's early, but no, they're looking really good. If you're looking at the numbers overall, they rank 6th in offense. If we're looking at starting pitching, they're 3rd overall. And the bullpen, they are 9th. So, and I believe they're also playing some pretty decent defense. If we're looking at defensive runs saved, they're number 2 overall. So I think you got to put the Dodgers at number 1. The numbers back it up. I'm sure Giants fans don't agree, but whatever. This is where actually I think the Giants either should be number 2 or number 3. I was just talking with you before we started tonight about the Blue Jays. I'm sorry, but I don't think the Blue Jays should be here. I'm not saying the Blue Jays are a bad team. I think this is more of just like a name thing for the Blue Jays to be here at number 2. What do you think?
I agree. I think number 2 should either be the Giants or the Mets.
Yeah.
Either or. Blue Jays are not there right now. They are a really good team. It's early, but they don't have it right now that they should be the number 2 ahead of the Mets or the Giants. That I think is kind of a little bit off.
Right. If we're looking at the numbers here, doing okay with the defense, 12th overall. Looking at the offense, surprisingly enough, the offense you would think is probably would be right around here, but they're 7th overall. I mean, it's not bad, but 7th overall. It's just been the pitching. Alek Manoah has been great, but if you're looking at Toronto starting pitching, 20th overall so far. Well, actually, I was looking at the wrong one. I was looking at all of their pitching. Toronto with their starting pitching is 18th overall, and the bullpen, they are 19th overall. The ERA looks good, so a lot of people are thinking, what, 19th? But the FIP is higher at 4.4, 4.15 xFIP, under 7 strikeouts per 9. You know, when you're looking at the walks, you know, the strikeout to walk ratio, it's not great, but I'm not, like you said, I don't think the Blue Jays they're obviously a good team. They just haven't really put it together yet. I don't think they've really earned that number 2 as of right now. So I don't know if they're just going off of this, basing it off of their preseason power rankings or whatever. But yeah, I don't think the Blue Jays should be here at number 2. Now, the White Sox, I think they belong in the top 5. I mean, to me, I would personally have Dodgers at number 1, and then I would do either Mets or Giants 2 and 3. But yeah, the White Sox, hey, looking at Michael Kopech, man, he's doing pretty good. What are you thinking about the White Sox right now?
I agree. I think right now, if it was Josh's power rankings, I would probably have Dodgers, Mets, Giants, and then the White Sox would be there at 4. So I don't think it's a bad spot for them to be number 3. They're off to a good start.
Yeah.
You know, Kopech, you see, is doing well, which now you're finally starting to see that trade work out for the White Sox. You know, Moncada's been hurt early in the season, but you're seeing Kopech finally come around and potentially be that stud that he was supposed to be coming over from the Red Sox in the sale trade.
Yeah. The White Sox right now, it's just the offense overall. for the whole season so far, only 19th overall, but they're really picking up the slack for Lance Lynn and Lucas Giolito, 6th overall in starting pitching. And actually, if we're looking at the bullpen, I'm pretty sure the bullpen's right up there. Actually, 11th. That's fine. Yeah, I'm okay with the White Sox being there. So Astros, I actually think the Astros, they're playing very well right now. It's funny with the Astros. It's like they lost Carlos Correa, and people think, this Astros team, they're just, well, they're not good anymore. No more Carlos Correa. They're still a really good team. Verlander pitched his hiney off this past weekend, and he looked great. I mean, they did lose 2 out of 3 to the Mariners. That was one. Remember, if we go back to the last week's, the week ahead, I was talking about this series. This is a chance for the Mariners to really, kind of, stake their claim a little bit, going up against the Astros. And hey, Mariners taking 2 out of 3, but the Astros are looking really good. Jeremy Pena is looking really good. I've been saying this the whole offseason. Carlos Correa is gone. And everyone's thinking, oh, they go after Trevor Story, or they go after another shortstop. They got Jeremy Pena, who's one of the better shortstop prospects in the game. And look at him. He's hitting 345 so far, 5 extra base hits. He's doing great. He's playing good defense. But, I don't know. What do you think about these people do you feel like the Astros are, it's early, obviously, but do you think the Astros are kind of being slept on a little bit?
I think so. I agree with you there. There was so much talk in the offseason about okay, Correa's not going to come back, and there was a lot of questions. You see interviews with reporters talking to Altuve and oh, what do you think's going to happen? What do you think's going to happen? And Altuve saying oh, I don't know. I hope he comes back, but if he doesn't, then we have to move on. Well, that's exactly what they're doing. They're moving on. And they're throwing out the young stud Pena, who is not some bum that they pulled off the street to play shortstop. I mean, the kid's good, and he's off to a good start.
Great.
We'll see where he goes as the season progresses, but he's off to a great start. You can't ask anything more of him so far. So if he can keep it going, even half of what he's doing, they're going to be fine.
Yeah. And the Mets at number 5, I think they should be up higher. I mean, this is what I'm talking about here, and this is where I don't understand it, where the Mets, they have at number 5, and the bad part that they put about it was their bullpen. Well, we just looked at the numbers, and the Blue Jays bullpen ranks lower than the Mets bullpen. The Mets bullpen, as of right now, 15th overall, while the Blue Jays are 19th overall. I'm on the bullpen. So the Toronto Blue Jays bullpen is actually worse than the Mets, and the Mets are doing way better offensively right now. They're getting good starting pitching. The Mets right now, 2nd overall in starting pitching. Look at this Mets starting pitching. Are you kidding me? 10 strikeouts per 9, under 2 walks per 9, half a home run per 9. ERA right above 1, FIP right above 2. I mean, great starting pitching for the Mets. I mean, let's go take a look at some of these guys here. Tyler McGill, he's doing great. Chris Bassett's been really solid. Carrasco, look at Carrasco. Finally, this was a guy who I thought last year would be great. Funny enough, the big name Scherzer, he's been fine. He's 2-0, but it's funny enough, these other guys, their numbers right now look way better when it comes to ERA and FIP. But they're getting great starting pitching, man, and they need these guys to start stepping up like that. But yeah, I think the Mets definitely should be up higher here. That's just my opinion. I mean, hey, being the Yankee fan that you are, how are you feeling about the other team in New York?
No, the Mets are a good team. I mean, regardless of what team you root for, you can't deny that the Mets are a good team. Even without DeGrom right now, obviously DeGrom they're saying is going to be back maybe mid-season, maybe. The staff is still good, even without him, even without their best pitcher. Chris Bassett, I feel like you want to talk about someone being slept on, like we were just talking the Astros. Chris Bassett's someone who I think was slept on. They were thinking, oh, maybe 3rd, 4th starter. No, this guy is good. This guy was really good last year with the Athletics. He got hit in that scary accident where I think he got hit in the face at that time. And he was out for a while, and they were like, oh, how is this going to affect him? But he pitched really well last year. He's going to pitch really well, and he has pitched really well so far for the Mets. And they have a good offense. They've got a great offense. Pete Alonso had a great series against the Phillies. So they're going to be there. They are going to be there. They're going to be fighting for the number 1 spot in the East.
Oh yeah, they're off to a great start. Let's just see if, honestly, the thing I'm looking forward to the Mets is just their depth. Can they make this last, over a whole season? Moving on to here we go. So they only really put emphasis on the top 5. Rounding out the top 10, they have the Yankees, the Giants, the Rays, the Padres, and the Cardinals. I agree. I think the Cardinals should be here. I'm okay with the Padres being here. I think the Rays should probably be a bit outside of the top 10. I think they're in the 11 to 15 range. Giants, I definitely think should be up higher. MLB.com did this with the Giants last year. It's like this team was so good last year, and every time, they did not give them love at all. Same thing. How do you feel about the Yankees being at number 6? Do you think
no?
They
should be. They shouldn't be. They shouldn't be above any of those teams below them right there. The Giants, again, like I said, they should be number 2 or 3. The Rays, I think the Rays are looking better than the Yankees early on, even with that rough series against the Athletics. Padres are right there, kind of where they are, and the Cardinals are looking good too. Funny thing with the Cardinals, I saw that last night. I love seeing Pujols hitting home runs, man, back with the Cardinals. I want to just bring that up because he had a 3-run home run last night against the Brewers, and
good for him.
It's like throwback. Glad to see him back there. I think he should finish his career there, and I think if he doesn't get to 700 this year, he's not able to hit 700 home runs, bring him back next year. Let him do it in a Cardinals uniform. Don't let him retire without having that done. I mean,
did you catch my predictions? I have the Cardinals winning the whole thing. So Pujols, he's gonna retire with a championship. We actually have looks like we have a spammer here in the chat. Hold on, let me actually here we go. Someone's spamming in the chat here. MX Racer 629. Did I miss the handsome bald guy bashing the Red Sox? This guy, he comes into the chat sometimes and he likes to just cause a stir. Any thoughts on the Red Sox?
Well, the Red Sox always suck, so you didn't miss that. I have no problem repeating that. MX Racer 629. The Red Sox suck.
I meant to ban this guy the last time. He just, I don't know.
I like him. Let's leave him around. Too. Handsome, bald. He could stay.
He doesn't like me very much. It's fine. But MX Racer, thank you for joining the stream. Moving on. I think we've covered everything.
We did have a super chat a little while ago, since we're talking about the Red Sox being terrible and the Yankees not looking that good. Thomas Scott said Gleyber Torres is a bum. Trade him, Yankees. Thomas Scott, I wouldn't say that he is a bum, but I would say that he is a
crumb bum.
Crumb bum, maybe. And he's not Ben Simmons with the Sixers, but I will say he is kind of without a spot right now. Him and DJ. I'd rather have DJ at second. I'd rather have Gleyber on the bench. My ideal lineup, we're going to talk about this real quick. I'll make it quick. You have one of the guys, Trevino or Higgy, shortstop. Rizzo, first base. Let him give you 160 games. He should not be sitting at all. You put DJ at second. You put IKF at short. Donaldson at third. And you put the towers out in the outfield. Gallo, Judge, Stanton, and Gleyber DHs. That's the lineup. That lineup should be out there all the time. That is the best offensive lineup. Stanton said he could play outfield. Let him go out there and play outfield. Gleyber Torres, if you're not going to trade him, that's where he should be at. He should not be starting at second base above DJ. Give DJ a spot. And that's going to be my 2 cents, Thomas, but thanks for that.
Yeah. Gleyber Torres, I haven't heard too much about him. Remember, we thought he was going to get traded at one point. I mean, right now, 10 games, hitting 161. Yeah. Great. What was it, like the first couple of games? He was looking pretty good, and then, I don't know, just hasn't really. I think it's, do you think it's just because he's just bouncing back and forth between the banks, or what?
I'm not going to go into a huge rant over this weekend, but another thing that they kept saying in the offseason is Gleyber Torres is not a shortstop. Well, we saw him defensively come in and play shortstop over this weekend against the Orioles. We're 10 games into the season. He's already coming in to play shortstop. Ridiculous.
I mean, it's nice that he has the versatility, but it's like, I don't know what they're doing with him. It's like, I don't get it. I don't know. But moving on here, moving on. So really quick, I just also want to point out Hunter Green. Hunter Green, this guy, holy cow. See how many 100-mile-an-hour fastballs he threw this past weekend? I think he was like 39, like 40.
Yeah.
Jesus, that was my rookie of the year pick, man. If he just stays healthy, oh my. That guy, the Reds, they're looking like they're probably not going to be doing too much this year. But I was hopeful. Maybe they could be like the Moneyball A's from back in the day. But it looks like, hey, maybe the A's could be the Moneyball A's this year. I mean, look at them leading the league in runs score and in runs. But Hunter Green, he's looking really good. Man, he was just throwing darts in that against the Dodgers. Dodger Stadium, bright lights. He was not phased at all. So we've recapped the weekend. Let's get into the week ahead. So here we go.
Like it.
So let's go to some series to keep an eye on. I'll give you the first one. What's one series that you're looking for this week?
Top series I'm looking for this week. It was supposed to start tonight. We had a rain out, postponed, doubleheader tomorrow. We just were talking about these two teams that should be number 2 and number 3 in the power rankings. It's actually Giants, Mets. That is the series I'm definitely looking forward to. Doubleheader tomorrow. And let's see. I mean, they're the two teams that are leading the division. NL West leaders. I know the Dodgers right there, 7-2 also. Mets 7-3. We've been giving them a lot of love so far on the stream. But that's my series. That's my number one series to look out for. What do you think?
I actually didn't write this one down, but I don't know why. I just enjoyed. I don't know why. Just maybe it's just the names, but the Rays and the Cubs. Honestly, I mean, that's a fun little series right there. Cubs are. They're looking pretty fun this year. Seiya Suzuki, let's actually, we have not finished talking about last week. This guy was going off last week. Holy cow. Player of the week, along with Jose Ramirez. Seiya Suzuki, man, this guy, he is really figuring out. Like, I'm trying to, do you remember when Hideki Matsui first came over? Was Hideki Matsui this good?
Hideki Matsui was really good when he came over. I remember that season. That was the season. Remember they started the beginning of the year. They went to Japan. And they played the Rays in Japan, and he hit a home run, and they went absolutely crazy, as of course would be expected with him hitting a home run in Japan for the Yankees.
Yeah.
But he had a hell of a start. I don't know if it was this good, like player of the week right off the bat, but he was a stud. Everybody knew it. You talked about it in the offseason. I remember watching you. You and I talked about it. He could have been a Red Sox. He could have been a Yankee. He went to the Cubs. I think he fits in really well with what the Cubs are doing. Yeah. And he's looking good so far.
Yeah. Hideki Matsui, that's kind of one guy when I think of Seiya Suzuki, I think of someone like a Hideki Matsui, like maybe not like necessarily like a 3 or 4 kind of a hitter. I mean, he definitely could hit in those spots in the lineup, but Matsui was like that perfect like 5 guy, in the lineup, could bat clean up here, as well. But a Matsui, if you go back to 2003, hit 287 that year, 353 on base, 435 slugging, 16 homers, drove in a ton of runs. These are the kind of numbers that I was thinking with Seiya Suzuki. Probably maybe some more home runs from Seiya, because the guy just gets a ton of loft into the balls that he hits. But man, I really like what Seiya Suzuki's doing, man. He's just off to an incredible start. Taking a look here, 7 for 17 against coming off a strong opening series against the Brewers. Cubs outfielder went 7 for 17 in his first full week. I mean, that's really good, man. I mean, I think eventually these teams, they don't have a lot of scouting on them. I think eventually they're going to start figuring him out a little bit, but this guy's he's a pro, man. And I think he's going to be really good this year. And Jose Ramirez this year, off to a fantastic start. That's my MVP pick. But he's doing really good too. So, but yeah, I really like this Rays Cubs series. I don't know, just a fun series to me. What about you? What do you got next?
Cubs, I think they're playing everybody in the AL East this year, so that's going to be nice. I think they're coming to Yankee Stadium in June. I think they're going to Fenway. I'm not sure if Boston's going out to Wrigley, but I know they're
Cubs Red Sox, always fun.
Yeah, the Cubs are going to Yankee Stadium, which is nice to see.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about it yet. We talked about it briefly before. Freeman and the Dodgers. So
Yeah,
Freeman, first time
yeah,
playing.
big storyline.
Freeman and the Dodgers going and playing the Braves. So his first time playing his old team.
Yeah,
Interesting to see, because I know that early season storyline about, Ronald Acuna talking about how it
yeah,
wasn't a good experience for him being a rookie. And then actually, I really respect, I'll say this, I respect Freeman, because they instantly got his reaction about it. And he said straight up exactly what happened. I believe him when he says what happened during that time. The fact that, like, hey, eye black was just like the Yankees have the, clean shaven. Eye black wasn't worn by the Braves. They have to keep their look a certain way.
yeah, yeah.
The
Very formal.
Yankees are infamous for the no facial hair, but other teams have policies as well that, like, they have to look a certain way. And he was confronted about it. He didn't like it. I don't think that he should have been, like, harassed about it if that's actually what happened. But I
Right,
respect him
right.
for saying what happened. And I think it's going to be an interesting series. We have a lot of Braves fans in the chat talking about the Braves look good. Yeah, they look good. They do look good. But the Dodgers are looking really good right now, as they should. They
Yeah.
are the best team on paper.
Yeah, the Braves right now, surprisingly, their numbers, I think they're going to be fine, but their numbers aren't looking too amazing as of right now. The starting pitching is looking better than it might seem.
Yeah.
The ERA for Atlanta right now, 5.37, but the FIP and the XFIP are below 4 by a healthy amount. The Braves are definitely pitching better than what it seems, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. I mean, I wouldn't worry about this Braves team at all. I think they're very good. But right now, the offense, it's kind of whatever. Right now, Atlanta, they are, where are you at, Atlanta? Here we go, 18th overall. So they got to start swinging the bats a little bit more. You're starting to see guys like Marcell Ozuna. He's doing really good. Ozzie Albies, I believe, hit a homer this past weekend. But let me actually pull up the Braves really quick. And we were just talking about, before we went live, talking about Matt Olson. This guy's going crazy lately. But yeah, Marcell Ozuna, good to see that he's coming back. I'm guessing he has played mostly left field as of right now. He's DH'd one time. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, wait for him to get back into that DH spot. I mean, he thrived in that designated hitter spot in 2020. But and then there's the whole thing with Kenley Jansen. Did you see that this past weekend?
Yeah, first time I actually saw that in a game where they were refusing to have him throw warm-up pitches there, and the
Yeah,
umpire actually got it in front of the catcher and said, "You're not throwing it anymore. You're not
yeah,
throwing it anymore." And Jansen,
yeah,
of course, lost his mind, as I would have too in
yeah,
that situation. I know they
yeah.
have this clock now in between innings, like, hey, you're allowed to, throw as many pitches really, like, during that time. He didn't get
Right.
out there. They said that he was walking in from the dugout. Hey, sorry, that's the rule now. I know that wasn't the rule for the last 11 years when you were in the big leagues. Now it is. You got to
Yeah,
adjust. These are things that are going on. Get out there, throw. You're warming up in the bullpen. You're throwing some, tosses there in between innings. Get out there a little bit quicker. Throw your pitches, and this doesn't happen.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I agree. I thought that was a little silly. And then Trevor Bauer, I think he did a YouTube video about it. So Trevor Bauer, when's he coming back? When is he coming back? But I'm not worried about the Braves at all. I think they're going to be just fine. The bullpen, I think, is also, that's not the bullpen. Here we go. Bullpen. Braves right now, 12th overall. So I think the Braves, I think they're going to be fine. I think a lot of people are, they're off to I guess you want to call it a slow start. They're 5-6. But this game's underway. Clayton Kershaw, first start since getting pulled from the perfect game, or the potential perfect game. So, yeah, fun series here tonight. I mean, when these two teams are going at it, man, they're just, it's always a fun series. So, for me, I am looking for the Blue Jays and the Astros this week. I think that is actually a pretty fun series. Where's that? Well, I was also looking at the Angels and the Astros. That's a good divisional matchup. Here we go. Hold on a second. Let me pull this up here. Come on, load for me. But yeah, the Astros, Blue Jays, even though the Astros, they lost Carlos Correa, still a very good looking offense. And the Blue Jays, obviously, with their offense. I like this. This could be a potential playoff series down the road. Man, if these two teams ended up meeting in the playoffs, that'd be extremely fun. But I'm really excited for this one. Tons of bats, good starting pitching. Let me actually pull up here. Let's see how the Astros are lining up for that series. They are, where are we at here? So when does that series start? That is Friday the 22nd. So, yeah, Verlander pitching the first game against Toronto. So that's going to be fun. And who's pitching for Toronto on the 22nd? I'm guessing Ross Stripling. So would have been good if it was Gosman. But I'm excited for this. Two good teams, good pitching, good bats. I'm excited for it. How about you?
Before we get to the next one, I see, Tom, don't worry, buddy. I see you there. Nice to have a realistic.
Oh, didn't even see that.
Wow, a realistic Yankees fan. LOL, I love to see it. Man, compliments from the chat tonight. I appreciate you guys. First, the handsome
These people are wonderful
chat.
tonight.
Yeah, first the handsome bald chat. Now the realistic Yankees fan. I say it how it is. I mean, I don't want to turn this into a Yankees stream, but yeah, I like to say it how it is. So I appreciate it, Tom. Thank you.
Yeah, Tom is always supporting the channel. Tom, I appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of, it's funny because I get the same things from I get the same comments from Yankee fans. So like, wow, you're a Red Sox fan, but like I really just enjoy, hearing what you have to say. It's like, hey, yeah, I can have my giraffe neck Robbie moments, of course, but I'm always going to be down the middle when it comes to things. And I feel like there's a lot of Yankee fans out there. Honestly, I feel like some of the better conversations that I've had. I mean, obviously, we've talked about baseball, since we've met each other in middle school, but I've talked with other Yankee fans too. And it's always a pretty good conversation because with Red Sox and Yankees fans, I feel like it's turned into a respect thing over the years. It's really, so many hard fought games. But yeah, so it's nice to see there's plenty of Yankee fans out there. There's plenty of whatever team you root for, plenty of fans out there that are realistic. You just got to watch out for those fun ones on Twitter. But yeah, Tom, thank you so much, my friend. So, but what was the next series you were going to talk about?
The last series that I want to just touch on. So you were talking about Blue Jays, Astros. Blue Jays, Red Sox are also going on. I think that's before the Astros series. So that's one series. I'm not going to touch so much on that. It's just a good divisional series. But the one that I'm looking for is another divisional series starting Friday, White Sox Twins. I'm looking forward to that to see because, again, we keep talking about the White Sox. They're the favorite in the AL Central. I think it's going to be neck and neck at the end of the season. White Sox Twins 1 and 2. Who's going to finish 1? Who's going to finish 2? Those are the top two teams in the AL Central, and it's again another good early season battle.
Yeah, I always love the divisional matchups, like and the Twins. I'm really hoping this year the Twins made some really good moves this offseason. Really hoping that they can, get back. I mean, you got to remember, just like, a couple of years ago, this was a good team. They were right there winning the division. Yeah, like I really hope this Twins team is back to being a legitimate contender because who knows, maybe these two teams can meet down the road and who knows what can happen. But as for the starting pitching that are lining up for this, let's go to the White Sox. As of right now, you got Kopech going game 1, and you got Velasquez going game 2. And then it looks like it'll probably be Keuchel after that. And if we're going to the Twins, as of right now, I got to say, Joe Ryan and Bailey Ober this year. Looking at Joe Ryan, the ERA, the FIP is a little high, but he's been okay in his first couple of starts. And Bailey Ober this year, he's actually been pretty decent. These two guys, I feel like a lot of people, they would see these names in the rotation for the Twins and, they're thinking like, yeah, okay, all right, they're okay guys. But, I like these two guys. Really excited for them. And moving on, I believe, and then you got Dylan Bundy on Saturday against the White Sox, then Chris Archer. Actually, how is Chris Archer doing so far?
We talked about him last week briefly.
He is 4 innings, no runs. Huh. Look at Chris Archer. No walks. Hey, got off to a pretty good start, it looked like. Let's go to his line. Yeah, you give up 2 hits, 4 innings. Yeah, look pretty good. Look pretty good. So, yeah, that should be a fun one. One more that I am looking for. If we go take a look, it was postponed today, but the Giants and the Mets. You were talking about this one too. I mean, we were just talking about the power rankings, where these are 2 teams right near the top right now. Great records, and taking a look, this is a really fun one. Who knows? Maybe this could even be a playoff matchup at some point. Maybe a possible wild card matchup, maybe possibly, or maybe a first round kind of a matchup. But look at the pitching matchup we have tomorrow: Logan Webb and Max Scherzer. I mean, that's incredible. What a great matchup. There's my Cy Young pick for this year, Logan Webb. He's going to be cashing necks and breaking necks. And Max Scherzer, he's just going to be, screaming all over the place and yelling at the umpires. But yeah, really, really excited for this. This is going to be a great series. Honestly, would you argue this is probably the series of the week?
This is the matchup of the week, easily.
Yeah.
Right. This game that you're looking at right now, Logan Webb versus Max Scherzer, easily the matchup of the week. Pitching duel of the week, I would say.
Yeah.
I touched on this earlier. I mean, these 2 teams easily 2 and 3, flip them however you want them as far as how they should be ranked in their ranking so far this year. It's a great early season matchup.
Yeah. And then, I mean, for me, that was really it. I mean, of course, the Red Sox, Blue Jays, a little biased there, but hey, that's a big matchup for the division. So we'll have to wait and see how that ends up going. Let's talk about some players. Let's talk about some players here to look out for. Remember last week, actually, I can't remember who were some players that we said to look out for. I can't fully remember, but I'll have you start off.
About Matt Olson.
Matt Olson.
Last weekend I mentioned I mentioned Matt Olson because he was off to a hot start. He's cooled down a little bit.
Yeah.
He has cooled down a little bit. But not much. San Diego, he had 3 games. So they played 4 games against San Diego. Game 1, 2 for 4. Game 2, 0 for 3. Game 3, 3 for 4 with a home run. And game 4, 2 for 4. So did he cool down? He's still hitting 421 on the season.
Yeah. So I think I said also Nolan Arenado, I believe, and he's still looking really good. Honestly, I'm really starting to think now, Arenado, he really, you can never really fully say, at first after a few games, but he's looking good, man. I'm wondering, man, is he going to be, a legit MVP candidate? And it's very early. We're not even through April yet, but he's looking good, man. And especially with the glove that he has too, like he always has a chance to go out and win an MVP. You just wonder because of the last couple of seasons that he's had, is he going to get back to those numbers that he had with the Rockies? And then there was the whole Rocky effect thing, playing cores and, but the way he's hitting right now, he's looking pretty good. And, if he keeps this up, I think he has an easy chance to win MVP and help out the eventual World Series champion Cardinals. Anyway, I digress. But moving on. So yeah, let's talk about some players to keep an eye on for this week. Did you go yet?
No.
You go.
This is talking about Olsen. I would say my sneaky pick of the week. We talked about this just briefly. We've been talking about the Yankees a lot on the stream. I apologize, but this is a former Yankee who's actually seeing some playing time. Weird that when you get some consistent playing time, how you may be able to hit and do something with it. Tyler Wade for the Angels is my guy to look out for this next week. Tyler Wade recently, so his last 2 games against the Rangers, he went 2 for 4 on the 16th, 2 for 3 on the 17th with a stolen base, and he's 1 for 2 so far tonight, driven in 2 runs.
Yeah.
Tyler Wade, that's my guy. We'll come back here next week. Let's see how he does this week. But the last 3 games, he's been on fire.
Yeah.
And
look at his numbers for the year.
Yeah.
He's got a 364 average, a 391 on base, 409 slugging, whatever. But the guy's getting hits. He's got a 140 WRC plus so far. Bobby Nardone in the chat. Freddie Freeman just went deep. Okay. All right. Look at Freddie Freeman getting it started. But yeah, Tyler Wade, man, that's a sneaky one. We'll have to wait and see how he ends up doing. At the end of the week, we'll look at how they did. We'll just look at their FanGraph WAR. So we'll come back to these players next week, and I guess we'll make it like a little friendly competition. Who ends up getting the higher FanGraph WAR, and yeah. So we'll have to keep like a tracker or something, like a little scoreboard or something throughout the year. So where I guess what we can do is we can each pick a player and we can each pick a picture that we think will, give you the highest FanGraph WAR. And then, we'll keep a little scoreboard or something. So
let's do it.
But yeah, that should be fun. Tyler Wade, that's a fun one. So for me, I'm actually going to go with an old friend. I'm going to go for Michael Chavis. Ladies and gentlemen, have you been seeing Michael Chavis lately? 6 games. I mean, yeah, he's missed, a couple of games too, but guy's hitting 500 so far with a 556 on base, 875 slugging. He's played some first, some third. He's been DHing. This guy, he's been crazy. He had a really good weekend. Go back to yesterday. He went 3-4 with a triple, an RBI, and a run scored in a win over the Nationals. So, hey, Michael Chavis, man, I'm glad to see that he's performing well with the Pirates. I was a big Michael Chavis fan when he was with the Red Sox. I missed the Ice Horse, but with the Pirates, hey, man, this is a guy. The Pirates are there in a few years. Chavis had, you got to remember, he was a first-round pick. He was the 26th pick overall in the 2014 draft. There's potential with this guy. He's got power. Look at the raw power. If you're taking a look here, 65 raw power overall. So he's definitely more of a power bat. But, Chavis, if you go back to him in 2019, he's pretty good. He got off to a really good start, and then he kind of died off in the second half. But overall, with the Pirates, man, this is a team, a few years, they could be really good. And Chavis, maybe if he continues to stay on this track and he's in his prime, 29 years old, man, who knows? I'll have to wait and see. But that's my pick. Michael Chavis, I'm counting on you for some to help me out with this competition this year. So let's go to our pictures. Who is your picture for this week?
So I'm not going to do some kind of like sneaky pick like I did with Wade. I'm going to go to a guy that needs to get it done, and he's pitching tomorrow after this weekend. We talked about this earlier in the stream. Sorry, Yankees bias. He needs to have a big start, and I'm going Garrett Cole this week. He needs to have a huge start tomorrow against Detroit. They just had an off day today. A lot of BS this past weekend with how the team played. He needs to go out there, shove it to the Tigers, and get that offense going here.
I like it.
He's going to go out there. He's going to pitch. He needs to look over into the dugout and say, "Let's go, guys. Let's get some hits." And we'll see how that goes. But that's my pick for this week.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, he hasn't been really bad. I mean, he got hit around by the Red Sox a little bit. But then he started to calm it down. He had what was a bad first inning. Then he calmed down for the next few. And overall, I mean, he gave up the home runs against Garrett. He gave up the home runs against Vlad. Everyone was like making like this thing about him like tipping his cap. It's like, dude, the guy is just hammering you. It's like, tip your cap. Whatever. Just shows you're acknowledging the greatness of Vlad Jr. It's like crazy. Like people were like thinking like, Cole, what are you doing? It's like, hey, give respect where it's due. Look at Pedro Martinez, calling the Yankees his daddy. Yeah, you think we freaking like that? But
I did. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, but overall, like when Pedro was saying that, it's just like, what else are you gonna say? In 2004, the Yankees were just kicking the crap out of them. It was like they were just hammering them. I remember he had a couple of good starts against them in the beginning of the year, and then man, he was getting pummeled by them down the stretch. So hey, it is what it is. But for me, I'm going to go with a former Yankee. I'm going to go with Andrew Heaney. I'm going with a couple of sneaky guys this week. Taking a look at Andrew Heaney, man, against the Reds this past weekend. He went 6 scoreless, and he struck out 11. He gave up 1 hit. He had a 1-hitter, 11 Ks, and 6 shutout innings against the Reds. So, Andrew Heaney, what are your memories of Andrew Heaney?
Not a lot of positive ones. Heen dog. Not a lot of positive memories for Heaney. Obviously came up from the Angels halfway through the season. didn't do much at all with us last year and kind of just let him go. Yeah, exactly. DeAndre, all bad. All bad. That's all it was. He comes in and it was like, here we go. Let's see how many runs he's going to give up, and hopefully our offense is hitting, because we're not winning with him just going out there. So,
it's funny when you look at his numbers with the Yankees. When you look at his Ks, his walks, and well, not his home runs, but his strikeout to walk ratio wasn't all that bad. It was pretty good. But then you just look at the home runs: 3 home runs per 9.
Yeah,
Nice.
keep going. Yeah, 7.32 ERA. There we go.
Nice and crispy. 7.32. The xFIP was a little more forgiving, under 5, but poor Andrew Heaney. But this is what the Dodgers do. They have these guys come over. They see some things in these guys. Hey, just saying, these guys are the Dodgers. You got some guys that used to be with the Rays, and they're just analytical like this, and they just see things and they just make it work. And Heaney, man, he was nasty in his last start. So I'm going to pick for him to keep it going this week. I believe he is going up against the Padres in his next start on Saturday. So we'll be in Tampa at that time. So, but I think that's all we got. Hirsch, for real, thank you for coming in. But any final thoughts before we do get out of here for the week ahead?
We talked briefly, you just mentioned like with Garrett Cole and Vlad Jr. I just want to see like how humbling the game of baseball is. One night he went 4 for 4, 3 home runs, hit a rocket double going the other way.
Yeah.
The next night, 0 for 4 strikeouts.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy couldn't miss one night, and then that very next game he couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. So that's just baseball.
And it's just funny because these guys, there's so much game planning too. People don't think. They think I think a lot of people don't think about that, where there is so much going on behind the scenes. They're looking at analytics. They're looking at numbers. They're looking at, hey, this guy, he likes to throw, up and in a lot. Let's try and see if we can focus on that, tonight. And there's a lot of that stuff going on. So I guarantee you, they went right to work when Vlad, when he got those 3 home runs, they were just like, all right, we got to sit this guy down, in the next one. So, but yeah. Also, final thoughts on Michael King. How are you feeling?
Oh, I like him. I mean, there's
what a great performance that was.
Yeah, I mean, he talked about last year how big Corey Kluber was for him. Kluber, he had the no-hitter, last year. Didn't have a lot of production for the whole season. Was hurt for a little bit, but the impact that he had on some of the young guys, Michael King, number 1, you see. The way he's looking this year, definitely $10 million worth, well spent last year for Kluber for that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, overall, we were still very young into this season. We got a long way to go here. So it's like, you don't want to put like too much emphasis on this stuff right now. We had the MLB.com's first power rankings. It's just funny. Power rankings, man, I saw it firsthand last year. I remember there was one week I put the Giants at number 2, and I think I had like 30 people unsubscribe from the channel. I'm like, oh my goodness, we hit a nerve, man. People get mad over power rankings, but it's like funny seeing it on Twitter. Just people got hot over them, and we're 1 week or 2 weeks into the season now, 2.5 weeks, and man, so I don't want to put too much emphasis on the teams right now. It's nice to see how these teams are starting off, but you just never know what can end up happening in May, June, July. I honestly, I can't wait for the trade deadline. I still think the Yankees, I think they're going to make some kind of a trade. It's funny enough, you're thinking they need a number 2 guy, and their starting pitching has been phenomenal. So now it's, we'll have to wait and see what the Yankees end up doing at that time. But yeah, everyone, did we have any other super chats real quick? I believe we hit all of them. So, but all right, Josh. Well, any last words before we get out of here tonight?
No, I just want to say thanks again to the chat. You guys have been great. Talked about a lot of different topics, a lot of Yankees, a lot of just everything in between. So keep it coming every week here. I love it. And again, thanks, Robbie, for having me on. And I'll see you guys next week. Let's have a good week of baseball.
Yeah, I was gonna actually before I want to highlight this comment. This is an interesting one. As a Yankee fan, I have to ask you this. I don't think I've actually asked you this yet. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Hirsch for real said Yankees going to trade Judge at the deadline. So here's my scenario for you. If the Yankees are in contention, they're not trading Judge. But if the Yankees, let's say they're 5 out in the division. Let's say they're, I don't know, 4 out in a wild card. Like they're there, but it's not like there. Like they have to make up some ground to get there. What are you doing with Judge? Are you trading him?
I think if you're 5 out, that's too close.
Yeah.
If it was a situation like when they traded Chapman that year where they were out of it, they were not making the playoffs, they were like 10 games out, they weren't doing anything.
Yeah.
I just don't see them doing it. I really don't see them doing it. I don't see them trading Judge. I mean, we talked about this how many times, Robbie, over the last couple of weeks. The Yankees have a terrible track record of trading their guys. They do not trade their guys and get prospects back. The last time they did anything to do that, the last time they did anything like that was Chapman to the Cubs. But they don't do that. They don't trade their guys and grab guys mid-season because they always feel like they have a shot and they will go down swinging to the very end.
Yeah.
But if they were 10 games out, say like halfway through the season, and they were just looking terrible, I don't know. I can't see it. I honestly can't see it. And if they're trading Judge, who are they bringing up? They're bringing up Florio? Or who are they trading him for? I mean,
Finally.
I don't know. I can't see it.
Yeah. I don't think it ends up happening, but it is interesting. People are still still feeling a certain way. I mean, you got pretty much two camps where people are like, hey, why can't Judge ask for more money? But then there's a lot of people out there like, did you see the offer that they made him? Where it's, you can go either way. I think it was a great offer. I think, you said that to me the other day. It was a really solid offer. When you look at, yes, like I know some of the injuries he's had some fluky injuries there, but he's also had a couple too where, like nagging sort of things, So to me, I thought it was a great offer, but hey, whatever. If the guy wants to, bank on himself, he wants to, bet on himself.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, who are we? I'm just a doofus sitting at my desk. And, but hey, power to him. If he feels like he can go out there and get a good contract, he's going to have a really good year. So he's going to have to stay, on the field, but I don't see it happening overall.
No,
So,
I don't see them trading him. And Bandage 62 Judge wants to test the market. Yes, he does, and he should. Let him test it. Let him see. Because he was wanting the A-Rod and the Michael K, the K-Rod cast. They were talking. They had a really, really interesting breakdown from Alex Rodriguez. He was talking about as they're going through their years before free agency, how the power really shifts.
Mm-hmm.
And as obviously you're getting into year 6, there's a smaller discount for the teams. And it's, maybe teams should lock up guys early on, like Acuna, like Tatis, like Franco, like some of these guys that are getting locked up now. Judge didn't get locked up. He had a couple of years where he got hurt. This is his free agency this offseason.
Yeah.
Let him see what he can get. He's wanting that 35 million a year contract. I don't think that's too far out of the asking price for him.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a lot of talks about the Giants. He's a Bay Area guy, from California originally.
Yeah.
Let's see. Be fun. Maybe Giants throw an offer at him. I'm not going to get too much into it. We're 10 games into the season again, but we'll talk about that later on in the season. I know a lot of Judge talk right now in the chat, but I mean, I could see it. If you want to bet on yourself and test free agency, do it. I would do the same thing. Me and you do the same thing in our own personal lives. Hey, if we feel like we're worth something and we're not getting it, you got to make a move.
Yeah.
You guys are no different.
I agree. But I just don't see, also another thing too, I don't see the Yankees being that far out. I think this team's too good. If they were 10 games out at the deadline, right, heck, even 5 at that point, at least for a playoff spot, I would be shocked. We'll
Yeah.
have to wait and see.
It's going to be tight. It's going to be tight. We see it tight early on, 5-5, 5-5 from the Red Sox, 5-5 from the Yankees. The Blue Jays are 6-4. The Rays are, what are they? So they're 6-4 too.
Yeah.
I mean, you got four teams. Yeah, 4 teams within a game of each other. So we're 10 games into the season. Don't think it's going to change anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, again, you just need to play this season out. But I mean, looking at the East, all 5 teams are separated by 2.5. Same thing in the Central. Texas is 3.5 out. It's funny with Texas because they're scoring a ton of runs, but they're just pitching is so bad. But yeah, 3.5 out for the Nationals. So you are starting to see some separation. Like the Reds, they're 4 out already. Diamondbacks already 4 out. But that West division is looking pretty fun right now. I'm sure eventually Colorado could fall out of it. Honestly, hey, Colorado, man, I'm all for it. I've been saying this whole offseason, don't sleep on them. And everyone's the only thing people want to remember is the giving them crap for the Nolan Arenado thing.
And Trevor Story.
Yeah, and that too. But like, hey, you know what? They got a good team. So Padres are looking okay. But still got a long way to go. But all right, everyone. Well, I think we're gonna get out of here for tonight. We both gotta get our beauty rest. So especially me, I look terrible. But real quick before I do get out of here, one more time, if you're looking to do some sports betting, Prize Picks is a pretty good option. If you go on Prize Picks right now, use my code Ginger. They will match whatever deposit you make. You're playing against the system. You're not playing against other people like in FanDuel and DraftKings. You're doing over-unders against the system. Actually won myself a few bucks this past weekend, so go give it a try. Also, if you're looking to go to a game this year, hey, use my code HIDE, $20 off your first purchase. But everyone, thank you for coming out tonight. Josh, thank you for coming tonight. So
thanks for having me.
But all right, everyone. Have yourself a good night. Tomorrow night, not quite sure what I'll be doing tomorrow. I might actually maybe upload something tomorrow if I have some time. But look out for something tomorrow. We'll be here Wednesday night for hot takes, and Thursday we'll have something here as well on that night too. So everyone, have yourself a good night, and we'll talk to you next time.